while we're out partying and having our good old times, he's back here, and they are punching him in the face. They are grabbing his beard and pulling his beard out. They are mocking him. Yeah, that would hurt a little bit. Mocking him and making fun of him and jeering at him. They are turning him around, and they are taking the whip, and they are hitting him from several feet back. But they are hitting him. Anybody knows how many times they strike his back?
39.
39. They say, some of them say, to be funny, they say 40 save one. But anyway, he was hit 39 times with a whip that had little things in the end of it that when it hit his back, it would dig and jerk and pull. So could you imagine his back, Oscar, right now? 39 stripes pulling flesh out of his body. The amount of pain and agony that he's going through right now. And at the same time, they're laughing and they're mocking and they're jeering because they think this guy is a false teacher, false prophet, weird, crazy guy trying to stir up trouble in the area. That's what this guy is, and they just want him out of the way because some people are following him and they're listening to him. So they're going to make a big example out of this guy. So he's getting 39 stripes on his back. Now, I don't know about you, but I think one or two of those and I'd be done. But he took 39 of those stripes. So if you've ever been in a fight or done anything, you know, or had some kind of problem put against your body, you know, like pushing cars or doing anything really physical exertion from you, you know when you're done, man, I'm wore out. You get done fighting and you barely just get up and walk. You've seen some of these fights on TVs with a swing and fall down. Well, that's what he's going through because he's on that whipping post and he's got these 39 stripes. But then when they get done with that, they take this crown that's like this, and it's got real sharp, long thorns in it that's got a poison on it or whatever. And they take that and they mash it down in his scalp and see the blood just running down. They hit him, they beat him, they've smitten him, they've done everything they can. And then they start mocking and jeering him and making fun of him. And they stripped his clothes off of him because back in those days, in King's days, many years ago in the Old Testament, the way that they made a show of you was if they conquered another king somewhere in their nation or their city, whatever, back then, they would strip their clothes off of them and lead them through the towns naked. And that's how they dishonored them and showed that you were defeated. Okay? So they would bring them. So that's what they were doing with Jesus. They stripped him, they striped him, they put the crown of thorns on him, they had beaten him, they had smitten him. They'd done all this kind of stuff and made fun of him. They even spit in his face. I don't know how many of y'all ever been spit in the face. It's not very fun. Being spit on is not very fun. Been there, done that. So anyway, this is the sacrifice Jesus is making for each one of us while we are out worshiping our own little gods and having fun doing our own little sins and committing all these sins. While we do not deserve it whatsoever, Jesus is behind the scenes paying the price. And then they spread him out on that cross and they nailed him down on that cross through his hands and then through his feet. And they put him on that cross and they lift him up. And after they think he's dead, they check him and they take the spear and they put it through his side and pull it out. And even after he's dead, blood and water ran out, which told the warriors there that this must have truly been the Son of God because he's dead. And once you're dead, your heart's not pumping. And when they pierced his side, the blood ran out. So they knew that something was different about him. You may be seated. Thank you very much, Mr. Jacob. Everybody give him loud, loud hands for Mr. Jacob. All right. But this is what happened in Isaiah when they had him and they had smitten him. And here his mother and his disciples and all these people are behind him. They all had left him, but in a distance, they're watching what's going on. And they're crying out because Mary knows. It was told her before she ever had Jesus that he was going to be the Son of God and the Savior of the world, the Redeemer. He's going to give his life for the world. She knew this. But yet at the same time, she's seeing her son being made fun of, mocked and jeered, and she knows he's the Son of God, and she's seeing what they're doing to him. And you've got to understand, as the Son of God, he could have called on legions legions of angels to come and set him free and annihilate all the warriors right there in a glimpse of an eye. He could have. But because he loved Scott and Stan and Doug so much, he wanted to redeem you from your future of a lost life and living in hell forever, that he endured the cross until he cried out, "It is finished." Now this is most of what people preach about and speak about in churches today, and that is true. That Jesus went through all this horrendous act for each one of us to have life today and have it evermore, even though the majority of people today, even if they know the truth, still turn their back on the fact that Jesus paid an awesome sacrifice for each and every one of us, and we will get up out of here and we'll walk out and continue to walk in the world of sin and not serve Jesus, who gave his everything for us. We will. Now, as many churches today across the land are preaching and talking about this subject today, there is another thing that happens that is even as important as much as he was made fun of, mocked, and jeered, and stripped of his dignity and everything. Even though all the things they did to him, it was prophesied and it did come to pass, not one bone of him would be broken. They did not break one bone of his body through all the torment that he went through. But you see, if the second half did not happen, Bobby, all the first half that he had done would have been in vain. If you don't know what vain means, it just means it was for no good. He could have been crucified 7 days a week and wouldn't have done a thing if the second part